So yeah, I got pulled into many different subjects as I was recording this story, and I actually recorded many episodes today. I'm just gonna edit and make them all into different episodes, episode subjects, you know? So I'm gonna go back to the story. Yeah, that crazy female, demons possessed, extremely mentally and crazy and violent, just, they cover their face all the time. Just, there's another weird quality they have, you know, make people even more uncomfortable. Again, some are, and they're probably just acting like they're doing that because of the pest and all that, but no, they're obviously crazy. That's the reason they're doing it. They want to hide their face. Or they just sometimes come there and start hitting things and, you know, making like that sort of way where then whoever works there would feel concerned like that, maybe ask you to leave. They sometimes act like that a little bit, but demons still protect them from being kicked out because those humans are also possessed like that. They don't always do the right thing, which I told you it's going to explain the other episodes, the subjects I told you, where a lot of human beings who are staff, right, who have a job, are going to start to not do their job normally, the way they would look out for the customer's safety or the environment of the company. They're not going to do that as much because they're possessed heavily at extreme level, where then their demons are just going to make them work actually together with the humans who are actually doing the crime, the chaos, the harassment in the environment, you know? So that's just the kind of world we're going to start to have soon. Evil humans who are employees are going to start to actually help and not report and not confront human beings who are evil just like them, who are customers, or who are just people coming from outside into the company that this human works for. You know, you're a bad human, you're possessed, but obviously you act normal every day, so people may not think you're evil, right? Obviously you have a job, you behave in order to keep it. The evil they do is covert, obviously, like bullying they do, okay. In the past, they obviously, if they saw crime or something, they report it, right? Now demons are going to possess this human to actually work with that person who's either a coworker, but I mean technically in this situation, I mean humans who are like customers or those who come from just the outside public. Employees are not going to report them anymore. They're not going to stop them anymore. They're not going to react emotionally the way you expect, because those demons are actually going to smirk and look at each other inside the bodies of these two people and actually covertly work together like that. They're going to start to do the weird things that I deal with, right? Demons using many different humans who don't know each other to work together against me. They're going to start to do that as a behavior, right? In many parts of the world, as just the spiritual warfare attack that demons are just doing to the human race, because right, God's help is coming soon. But they're just using their powers as much as they can. They're exhausting it as much as they can, because they're going to be taking out a lot of the people who are possessed very soon. Because God's help means God's leader, the leaders that God chooses and his religion, the correct version of his religion, is going to come back. Okay, that means a lot of human beings are going to have demons casted out of them by those people who he's going to use as his, right, supernatural leaders. Okay, so for that reason, you get me? That's another reason why they use these humans after COVID to commit so much crime, harassment, chaos, even if it works against themselves, you know? Like a landlord harassing their own tenants, and they're going to lose their business right away. You're thinking, what the hell's wrong with this person? You know? Sometimes they don't even do it in a covert way where they're just doing evil because they're evil, but obviously still trying to protect their business. And sometimes they're just going to go all out. They're crazy, like Karens. These types of humans were like Karen. Well, obviously always existed. It's just now that you agree, they just feel like they just can come out comfortably and be crazy like that. It's because demons who are possessing them all these years now are running out of time. A lot of these human beings, God is going to save their soul, or they're going to have demons be taken out of them, you know, to be specific. So they're just using them as much as they can. A lot of them are going to die, you know. It's like just their time is up, you know, to keep being possessing these humans, to keep doing whatever they've been doing. They're just scared. They know good is coming. They know help is coming. So then they're thinking, okay, let's just use their bodies. Let's inspire and push these humans to do bad behavior now at a sort of great speed, even if they normally wouldn't agree to that, because maybe they'd lose a job or something, and they would only agree to do evil where it's very easy to hide what they did, because, okay, then they can protect themselves from consequence. Now they're just gonna make them do anything, in any environment, no matter who can see, which then explains a lot of crime being done in ways that is way too blunt. And obviously criminals like to hide, right? Duh. That's because the demons are running out of time and they're just thinking, let's use them. Who cares if it's exposed? They usually like to help them hide their crime. So that really proves that this is spiritual. Because religion will tell you that when the world is about to end, the devil is running out of time and he's going to therefore do a lot of bad things in the world, which just means he's inspiring bad humans to do bad things in the world. Without them, he obviously has no power. You agree? So they give him power, sadly. So you can't be like that. It doesn't connect to what we're seeing in the world today. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry. I just kept holding my breath. I already have a face mask, so it's easy to then cover my nose quickly. And I just kept waiting for that crazy female, the demon possessing her, who was spraying that perfume so much for a long time. Every time I thought they took a gap, they would do it again. You already know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it hard for you to breathe. And okay, I don't want to come out of the bathroom stall. I was already done using the bathroom. It was my time to just get out. And demons obviously know I'm Muslim. They know how many times I go to the bathroom. It's going to be multiple times because I go to do what as Muslims is called wudu, where we just pour water over ourselves, like our hands or face, and then we can pray, right? So sometimes they know I'm going to go back multiple times, not for the actual use of the bathroom. So they like to study my pattern and they like to bring these crazy people. So, okay. So I'm not always using the bathroom and then done. And then as I try to come out, it doesn't mean that I see this crazy human who's possessed there always. Sometimes I just go in there to fix my hijab, or you get me. I have different reasons why I go there. So God is gonna, if he's gonna give them the power to do something this bad, he's gonna pick a time where I just went in there for something you would say is not a big deal, like to just go fix my hijab, So it was that kind of situation. I went there to just fix my clothes or whatever. So, and if I was, for the sake of argument, to have actually used the bathroom, God is gonna let me first be done, and as I'm exiting, then they're gonna be given power to then enter the bathroom and create chaos. Like that. He's gonna protect me. Obviously, there's a balance. But the others who are allowed to just come in and stalk you to the bathroom or stalk me to the bathroom, when I'm actually using the bathroom, well, then they're just gonna use it. And you might be like, okay, then how are they doing harassment other than stalking? They just make too much noise. They keep boom, boom, boom. They just keep hitting things all day. Like they just keep hitting the wall. They keep throwing things. It's just too much noise and chaos. I don't mean just typical annoying noise. No, you think you're in some, you know what I'm saying? Like either some mental hospital or just a place where the noise is nothing but like a criminal type of noise, It's just irrational. So they want to make you anxious. Imagine you're in a bathroom, someone enters the bathroom stall next to you, and they just keep talking really loud to themselves and saying crazy things, or they keep hitting like that. They just want to make you distracted from just being in that moment comfortably and then coming out comfortably. They don't want me to use any situation in my life comfortably. They always want you to feel anxious and uncomfortable. And sometimes they make perverted noises, as you would expect. And sometimes they just come there just to be disgusting, They make the place dirty. And the other reason they stalk me is to ruin that place, actually ruin it. So that then you're like, oh, I can't use this stall, I can't use that stall. So at some point I have to pick one and clean it and then use it. It's very stressful. And then another one is they mop it or steal from it, like all the tissues. Okay, but it doesn't affect me. I'm Muslim. I use water to clean myself, and I carry my own tissues because of that. So, you get me? I found solutions, obviously. That's another reason they mop it. They may not use it. They're just going to enter, roll all the tissues away, and that's it. That's their job. They just want to take all the tissues out and then leave. You see, therefore, why they use a lot of mentally ill humans to stalk me then? Because exactly, a typical human who's just a bad character, a bad human, they're not going to agree to do that. Yes, they're a bad person, but they're not going to agree to go to a bathroom and do things that you would say sort of crazy. You know what I mean? And you might be like, well, how are they able to use a lot of humans who are mentally ill? Aren't human beings who are sort of better than that in society where you are? Yeah, but you already know because of COVID, there's a lot of homeless outside, right? Okay, so guess where they are going? They're going into every business. So business meant people who are not like that, right? Who are not mentally ill at an extreme level, but right, crazy. People who are not like that obviously would be in downtown, obviously would be in a business, right? Like that. They would go to hotels and places I usually go to. Okay, but if now they're possessing actual, real deal, extreme level mentally ill humans and they're just everywhere in society, right? Like that. Okay, that's not, you get me? The reason the demons are doing that, the reason why they're bringing these humans outside to places they normally would not go to, they wouldn't go to businesses, they just go hide in random places, is so they can use them to stalk me, and is so they can use them to commit problems in the country and globally, wherever else they are in. And is so then they can harass employees and get those employees to lose their job the same way demons used to, right? Persecute or stalk me to my jobs and always try to make a customer lie about me after they harassed me. Then they just go to my manager and lie. You get me? Like that. Okay, and then like that, they're going to do that to others now. You know? Because the goal is to cause global poverty. The goal is to make everyone lose their job to some degree. And you might be like, well, why? Other than just the fact that that's a bad thing to do, and devil would love to do that. Because then they want those humans, right? Since I told you the average human is evil anyway, right? It's not going to affect good people as much. The average human is evil, so for that reason, they're not evil enough, according to the devil. They're not evil enough, right? Because they still act decent. They go to their job, they don't bother people. They go to their apartment, they don't bother you. Okay, they want that sort of decency, at least in terms of their conduct, even if they're deep down bad. That doesn't mean they're acting that way all the time, right? They want to make them more evil, more immoral, and then that gives them also another advantage. More demons get to possess you. Okay, you might be like, okay, but why? Because then they want to make them have the emotion that made them evil in the first place, envy and hatred in their heart, right? Okay, they want more percentage of hatred and envy to enter the hearts of the average person today in this world. Because now they're going to agree with the demons possessing them to go and commit bad behavior against others, whether it's considered a crime or not. So then what did demons achieve? More evil in the world. So that employee who probably wouldn't go around shooting people, who probably wasn't at a level where they wanted to approach you and harass, like that employee who, they're not a good person, right? They're evil anyway. They gossip and bully people here and there. Okay, but they're not going around crazy. Okay, they're decent enough in their conduct. You know what? Just in their conduct. They're not 24/7 bothering people, but they could be very immoral. Okay, they want to take away that human's job, because now what's going to happen? See, I told you they're not a good person. They're going to easily be able to put these emotions of bitterness, anger, and rage, and violence, right? These bad emotions enter them easily now, right? Because they're going to use the suffering, the sort of suffering this human has, the problem they have now because they lost their job. Because they're not a good person. A good person is loving. Are they going to hurt people? No. Doesn't matter if they're suffering. Are they going to then make others suffer? No, right? Because you have love in your heart. Okay, but the average human is toxic, which means there's a lot of hatred and envy in their heart. The devil is thinking they're not going to go around committing crime left and right. They're still going to live decently. And he thinks that's not enough because he wants to commit more evil, more crime in the world. So he needs to, in his mind, push human beings to become more evil, more sinful. And the way he thinks he can do that is by taking away their materialistic or survival needs from them. So he's using the ones who are already that low, right? Extremely mentally ill or extremely evil humans, even if they don't necessarily have extreme mental illness qualities, just extremely perverted, crazy, right? Okay, he's going to use those ones to then go around society, approach you as an employee. They just harass you like the way Karens harass people. now you lost your job. Now you're going to go home and they're going to try to put those thoughts into your head to do that to others now. You get me? Because you lost your job. They're going to try to make you very jealous and very hateful of other people. And now they might possess you because they got your agreement. And you might actually now, when you just went to a store to buy food or something, right? It doesn't always mean you're intentionally going there to bother people. Just when you already do go out to shop, now they're going to inspire you to look at that person who's doing the service for you, the cashier, etc. They're going to inspire you. Inspire means they're going to put these thoughts and emotions into your mind. They cannot create emotion. They can just talk and whisper to you. It becomes a thought. Okay, but how do they put emotion? Witchcraft. It's not the actual emotion, right? God created. Only you can feel that way if you want. Because they put a thought in you that would naturally create that emotion. Okay, I mean like witchcraft. They're just going to send you what seems like emotion, but it's just energy. You know? Okay, and now all of a sudden you feel this sort of violence type of emotion coming over you, like rage. Like you just want to beat someone up like that. It's okay. Because you've already become bad and hard even more than you used to be. You get me? You're not that sort of decent way you used to be. Okay, it's your fault, obviously. Okay, now then they have permission to possess you and then project that to you when you saw it. But they obviously need you to see a specific person usually. Or again, if not, if they're just using you to stalk, go to random places, right? Like you're just a stalker. Okay, then they don't need that. They just might push you to go to random stores and just harass random people. Okay, but sometimes it might be specific. It might be an actual moment you were just normally, innocently trying to buy something. That's what I'm saying. It's usually places of service because people are there. They're working there. They want you to create more unemployment for others and then do the same thing to them. You get me? Push them to become evil and then continue to harass others. It's like a dominoes effect. Because then they want to create, you get me, global poverty. You get me, global homelessness. Everyone just loses their job. Not because jobs have been lost due to other problems demons created, right? They created other problems, obviously, that are causing unemployment. No, this is the other way they also cause it. Using the humans who are already crazy to approach employees, harass them. These employees lose their job because they lied about them. Or maybe they caused that employee to react and did something, and now they got fired for that reason or something. And now they're gonna, right? The misery, this human, they're gonna project misery. Misery loves company, right? They're gonna project misery to this human. Or it's their choice, obviously. If they agree to it and become a bad person who could then do that to others. See how dumb it is? They felt the pain of that. Why would you do that to others? So dumb. You should be less likely to become corrupted that way, but whatever, you get the point. They're gonna use that to then use this human to create the same problem for others. And now employers don't even know what to do. Every few months or weeks, they have to fire a cashier, you know, because she keeps harassing people or he keeps harassing people. And I actually have seen that myself. When I first started traveling in 2020, see, things weren't even that extreme like now, right? Now you're like, oh, we see Karens everywhere now. Like, we see homeless people harassing people everywhere like that. Okay. God lets me always see the type of demon that the devil wants to bring out into the future later, right? Like 2024 now, way back earlier. You know, the first time I saw humans like this was 2015 or 16. They just come to my job, harass me. They're like, Karen. And they accuse me, you know, even if I never respond. They run and lie about me to somebody, you know. They want me to react and go to jail like that. For me, it wouldn't be from a place of immorality, right? I wouldn't commit a crime in that sense. I would just only use self-defense if I had to. You get me? Like, humans cannot attack me, obviously. I mean, self-defense is like maybe they try to touch you and you, right, push their hand away. So that kind of self-defense. Like, don't touch me at the same time. That's considered self-defense. If you do it after that already happened, then they call that crime. It's so annoying, you know? So like that kind of way, where I'm doing it from a moral place if I hit you, right? Self-defense. But still, right? They could lie and still say they were the victim. Like that. It's going to lie if you're a moral person. If you're not, they know then that's not even required. You know? They know they don't have to create a situation where they're harassing you to push you to do something that then they can then lie and act like you didn't have the right to do. They can just make that human who's also toxic do something else that's also immoral to the one that harassed them. You get me? Yes, they were the victim, but since they're immoral too, well, now they did something worse like that. So they know it's easy because they already know this human they're possessing to approach this other human. They already know this other one is bad too in character. They just obviously behave when they go to a job because they needed to survive. They, they just push their buttons, they'll do something bad and they'll be fired. So I remember in 2020, since I was traveling, right? Hotel to hotel, therefore, is that what I was going through. I didn't rent for some reason. I didn't stop and try to rent. I had so much money because you get me. It's like God allowed me to sort of forget that or something. I swear. It's like you just forgot or something. Your brain, due to all the stress of being stalked, I just sort of forgot to try to settle. Even though I have that goal, I'm literally traveling to the state. I pick it like Ohio, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna settle there. Yeah, let's go. But then I just sort of leave all of a sudden. I go to another hotel in another state. All of a sudden, what? You get me? It's like that type of situation where God is sort of controlling my mind to forget. Because then that's the only way I would go through what He wants me to go through, to keep traveling. So yeah, it was so supernatural. Why would I forget that? I obviously traveled to a state to settle. So, two, another thing He obviously put me through was simply just what the demons were doing, right? That God obviously allowed them to do, which is, sabotage my train, Amtrak, that was supposed to go to North Carolina, and they dropped me off after harassing me. You see, that's what I'm saying. These types of employees are going to harass everybody the same way they harassed me. You get me? So I get to go through it, for me, obviously, as a persecution thing. This has been happening to me all my life. Strangers harass me. For me, I'm not saying you guys are going to go through persecution, right? I'm just saying singular, not all, right? But singular, specific 1, 2, 3 behaviors that humans will possess to do around me is going to be then what they're going to also be possessed to do around you, the human race overall, and therefore to each other at some point. So for that reason, I'm going to understand what the hell's wrong with those humans. I'm going to be able to offer solutions. I'm going to be able to help with the sort of chaos they create, like the poverty. Therefore, that's why I have to go through seeing that being done to me first. You get me? Before it happened to others, I had to constantly see these types of humans who are called Karens appear in front of me more first, And now it's like, oh, people know what they are. You get me? But I was already ahead of you. I saw that type of human. And for me, it was actually a persecution. They follow me everywhere. Well, for you, it depends, right? It's a specific thing. Because since they're going to become prevalent later, you get me? It's like God is thinking, let me expose her to that type of situation, that type of demon. That's not the only reason I go through it, obviously. I'm saying this is one of the reasons. So that then, right, if He wants me to help His creation, this is a higher level of understanding I have to help you, correct? Because the humans that are ruining society, I've been bothered by them personally for years rather than 1 or 2 times, which then allows me to understand them, correct? The ways where they're victimized and the ways where they're victimizing others. Okay, so we're not going to just stop them from harassing others the way that God wants me to help human beings. It doesn't only involve me helping you against them. I also have to help them. It's not hard because they harassed me and ruined my life. And still, the missions God wants me to do that are divine or supernatural means that I'm going to have to create solutions that help them spiritually and physically. Spiritually means more like religion, teaching them about demons and how to cast them out. Okay, and then the other solution, physical, like actually that, helping them with poverty and things like that. So that's why I always say God gave me divine missions, meaning plural, multiple missions. It's okay to sort of tell you this stuff, even though I'm not supposed to tell you who I am or anything like that. I can still tell you how at least God wants me to help you in a generic encryption type of speech, type of description. It's okay, right? Because then that explains why I share with you that I'm persecuted by demons. It's good to then tell you why. because I'm learning stuff. Now, the world, right, a few years from now, including what's happening now, I understand it. I'm never going to be like, what the hell's happening to our world? I'm not going to, again, you might be like, other people also understand it too, right? Like Christians, Muslims, they're going to just say, oh, it's the rapture, it's the end of the time. Not that type of understanding. They just know. See, understanding and knowing is not the same. They just know bad things are going to happen, and some examples of it when the world is about to end. Okay, but do you know why? Do you know why? You don't know. You don't know why things are happening the way they're happening. You don't know how human beings started to become this way, where they're just fighting left and right, right? It's like I get to understand the why, how demons got these people to this point, and the fact that it's demonic and it's not them only. You know, the demons are the ones who made them this way. Either way, you get the point. I understand because I actually have been given wisdom by God. You know, it's God who's great, not me. He gave me more knowledge than you so that then I could use that, and we're going to work together, inshallah, to fix the problem. How about that? So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, as I was traveling, right, these types of human beings, every hotel worker, it wasn't the sort of more decent employees anymore. I started to see these sort of older females, right, sort of like the old typical white old female who looks sort of poor to you. You know, typical Karen, like they look like Karen. You know, they're old, but they still have these very small jobs that they should have moved out of. You know, they should have outgrown, like cashier, front desk worker. You know, well, they're that typical perverted female that's actually hiding it. That's why at some point she might say to you, honey, sweetheart, which I dealt with a lot as I was traveling, demons possessing them to say that. And they want me to, every single time tell her, don't say that to me. Because guess what they're going to do? What a Karen does, whether it's male or female. Karen just is like a term. Argue. Justify the perversion. Fight with you to death because it's not to actually harass. They don't actually really mean that to harass you. They want you to be kicked out of that hotel. They want you to be kicked out of that mall. So they think, let me insult you so that then if you say anything, and again, right, who the hell would kick you out for saying something? Isn't that normal and moral? The company would be mad with them, right? Not you, the customer who didn't do anything. No, they're going to lie. They're going to act like you just started yelling and shouting and scaring the hell out of them for their life. Like that, they're going to lie. They're going to hide what they did first, you know? And even if they were to say it, they're going to be like, well, all I said was honey. I didn't... You get me. They're going to twist things, you know? You could have literally calmly told them, don't call me that again. And they're going to make it seem like you just committed the biggest crime in the world. They're going to act like you're not a human and you don't have dignity and you don't have rights over your body and yourself. You can tell others right how to treat you. They can act like you don't have that right. They're going to act like they have the right to call you what they want. And that the only thing that they agree they don't have the right to do is to hit you or something, be violent. Evil humans always will do that. They're going to always act like what they did is normal. But then they're going to pick an evil that's higher than what they did, right? Worse than what they did. And they're going to act like they agree that one is bad. And they're going to say to you, I didn't do that one to you. You know, as if that then justifies doing this one. It's the same crazy people who were possessed to bother me at my job in 2016 when it was really sort of more prevalent. That then started to come to every job I went to, every street I went to, and now, on a small scale, right? Not too much. On a small scale, they're the same humans doing that everywhere they go to others. Exactly what you think. To get other people to lose their jobs, cause global poverty, unemployment, and homelessness. So the people who are homeless are no longer going to be who you think they are. People who came out of jail, prison, extremely mentally ill so they can't keep their job, drug addicts. It's going to just be normal people who you used to see every day having nice jobs. They're going to start losing their jobs. Not only, right, from things like greed, like landlords bothering them, real estate, all that stuff, rent going high, government, blah, blah. It's not just that, you know? It's not just things like flood causing it that God is doing. It's going to be things like this, harassment from demons, you know? So multiple things are going to start to go bad, and just suffering from God, you know? We're not going to call that bad. We're going to call that suffering. Bad means like immoral, like demons are causing it using bad humans. And okay, do you agree then that's a very understandable what demons are thinking? They're just thinking if they take away your materialistic needs, then they can slowly teach you to be very hateful and envy of others in a more higher way, or maybe the first time, maybe you won't even like that to some degree. Maybe they use this to make you evil now, and now they want to possess you, get your permission to go around doing that to others every day. And it's not random, just so you know. They know those people. They know this specific employee that they really want to also get them fired. So they're going to go and take you specifically where they want to take you when they're possessing you. And they're going to specifically make you approach a specific employee. Just like for me, they used to pick on me in my company, right? They're going to pick a specific employee and they're going to make you approach only them, and only that person is the agenda for that day to get them fired. So that's why Islam says one of the signs of the end of the world is lying. It's just lie, lie, lie. People are going to be so scared for their life because everyone's just going to start lying at a majority level, and only some people are sort of not going to do that. Okay, I already know how much anxiety being accused or lied about causes someone. All these years, all these humans who are possessed did was just lie about me. Even if your life is not endangered, it causes extreme fear to be accused, Because the other reason, other than the fact that, right, they're defaming your character, and that causes fear, obviously, right? That's not what you did. There's consequences, right? Like you lose things. But the other one, they put witchcraft on you as they approach you. And it's a demon, right, manifesting out of the human at a higher level. So they cause you more anxiety because you're just not awake like me to know this is a demon. But the consequence is still going to be there, which is when demons manifest out of people too much versus a little bit. A little bit means like the human is actually conscious, knows what they're doing. Too much means the demon is actually approaching you like, hey, that's actually the demon, not the person anymore. Right? Because they could tell people to do things and they're just going to chill. Okay, or they can possess them and talk to you instead, like that. So when it's extreme manifestation, it means the demon is actually the one talking. Okay. It's going to cause you extreme anxiety. You get me? You just don't know why you feel extremely anxious. You've seen bad people before, right? But this time you're going to feel super anxious because they're demons. You get me? They're very evil. So that sort of anxiety, one form of it is actually from God guiding you in your gut that this is something bad, a big deal type of situation. Be careful. And you expect God to warn you. Okay, so you're going to feel more fear. And then the other one is from them. They're doing witchcraft to send you a false fear. Oh yeah, these are the signs. These are the signs of, you already see these things, right? But these are the signs of the spiritual things, that the world is about to end, what's going to happen, sort of like the understanding on the background behind it, like how demons are getting an ability to do it. Like, what are they doing behind the scene to create the problems? They're gonna create problems of poverty. Okay, but how? By just making people harass each other, and you keep losing your job, and employers have to keep replacing you. The way I see that is right now, this store I go to, like for example, CVS, one is extremely expensive. That's another thing God is showing me, right? That's going to become prevalent in other stores that are not like that. Okay. But then two, I swear to God, the employees keep being changed every few days. How can a company hire someone new every few days? What the hell? That's demons. That's not the company. The demons are intentionally firing and hiring new staff. For me, it's understandable. For me, the persecution is because if I get familiar with a cashier, they know they're not going to bother me as much. So they like to bring another cashier. They like to bring a new one because then that is like a fresh vessel for them. The demons possessing them are like fresh in that human body, and they're just going to be the higher level of harassment. Okay, but when I get used to them, again, they still harass me the same way, but it's like at least I'm comfortable with them. I like that they don't like me to see the same humans, therefore. They keep changing them. When God put me in jail, they kept changing the sort of police. Technically, they're not really police, right? But sort of like the jail police. They kept changing them. Every few days, or like maybe a month later, a new group of female jail police would constantly come there. What the hell? Where did the other ones go? You know, they keep doing that because they're human. You get me? No matter how possessed they are, they get familiar with you. You feel comfortable with them. They might start to do moral things for you now. You might ask them for help in something that before they would mock people, laugh, and walk away, but now they might start to get familiar with you, right? And just sort of, sure, they bring you the pen, the paper. And then they replace them, get it? Because then now this new one is going to be possessed at a high level again. And they're just going to just harass you extremely. So I had to deal with that nonsense. And now I'm seeing how demons are just going to then, right, do that to some degree to human beings. Every day you're going to go to these stores and the employees are being changed. You know? One, immorality on behalf of those who sort of are at management level of that place. They're just going to be toxic managers being hired. Okay, so then you know what toxic managers do. They play favorites and they're going to start firing people, harassing people at a higher level than you already know humans have done who are bad in the typical job. Okay, but now at a higher level. You get me? Because of that sort of thing I told you where bad humans have always been around. They've always been possessed, but now they're possessed at a higher level to do more bad. Okay, so then if they're all being possessed to do that simultaneously, globally, then okay, it's going to cause global higher levels of bullying from management to coworkers, right? Or just the sort of non-management staff. Okay, and the non-management staff are also going to harass managers like that. If they're going to go against each other more now, but then every few days someone's going to be fired or someone's going to quit. You get me? So they're doing more sin. They're doing more bad behavior, immoral behavior to each other that's then causing them to be replaced constantly. And now they're going to keep hiring someone new. And that also explains why these jobs, when you go on Indeed or any job search engines, why they keep posting the same job over and over and over again. It's not always the other reason that we all know, which is ghost jobs. They fake. They just trying to trick people into thinking that they're hiring so that people don't think that, right, that employer, their management is so you don't think they're being greedy, you know what I mean? And putting a lot of workload on a few staff. They want you to think they're doing what an employer is supposed to do, right? Fill positions. That's another way for devil to also use that in the government, the immorality that's happening there, right? They're going to tell you, oh, you know, a lot of jobs have been created in President Joe Biden's time. It's they're gonna list a number. It's not true. You hear me? Just the same. The only thing is that the jobs were created. You know, like how you just create a job profile and you post it. That's what they mean. They're just gonna create a job. They're not actually giving it to somebody. Therefore, it's a lie. Because you're thinking, if all those jobs are being created, why is there so much homelessness? There you go, or unemployment. It's because they're just being made. The employer is lying to the government and everyone else. And to some degree, the government knows, and some parts, they don't know. They're being tricked. So that's the other thing demons are responsible for. This is not going to stop, okay? Until God is sending you the help, right? Whoever he's going to use to help you, it's going to just get worse. Because I told you they just want to cause global poverty. They want everyone to be poor. You know, be like, how's that possible? There's so many buildings. There's so many. Who's going to use them? They're going to become empty. No one's going to use their mind and be like, as a species, are we stupid? Why should we all be in the street if we have all these buildings? Let's obviously use some of them. But the only humans who make laws, where you can make laws or permission to use buildings, is a small minority of you as a human race. Just those in government. Okay, they're not going to lose their homes technically, right? You, the majority, don't get to make decisions like that. Because if you did, obviously you'd fix the problem, right? Because you're impacted by it. You don't have to be a good person. You're just impacted by it. You're in the street in your rented car all day, like these humans are around me every day. They're just always driving in their rented cars. They have nowhere to go. That's why the cars all look brand new if you observe your city. They're driving around you all day. Who's going to do that? Only regular humans in the society versus those in government would make such decisions because they want to obviously have a living. Well, if the ones who make that decision are in your government and they don't have to deal with homelessness and poverty because their jobs, for some reason, they don't lose it. They get to then create evil laws for you that don't necessarily always impact them. Well, then it's easy for the devil to keep, right, creating more unemployment, more homelessness, more poverty, and no one comes together and says, let's just use these empty buildings. Why should we be in the street? Why should we be in shelters? You can get to that mental intelligence or healthy or whatever you want to call it conclusion, but who's going to let you, right? They're going to get in your way. They're going to say, let them just be empty. We're not going to give it to those poor people in the street. We're not going to give it to those people who are in their RVs, in their cars. We're not going to give it to nobody. This belongs to so-and-so. You need to pay this month. And then the other thing that demons are also responsible for, some sort of rich people hoarding all the properties. They buy too much land and they build too much large, big cities, high-rise buildings. As Islam also says, it's one of the signs of the end of the world. Too many high-rise buildings will be built. Which just, you can see it every day. I tell you guys, downtown or anywhere you go, there's just buildings being built. Who the hell are they building it for? Isn't this country already civilized in that sense, in terms of buildings, right? They build enough for that to fit everyone who obviously could afford to rent. There's always somewhere for you. Why are you building more? Because they're just hoarding all the land. One day when whoever God chooses to help you comes to help you, they want to make it more difficult for that person to take all these areas of land in every country and be like, hey, let's use this place to build this, you know, this type of housing, maybe this type of business like that. They just want bad people who are very greedy to use the money they have, and they're going to work together too. They're going to come together. They're going to become real estate, business CEOs. They're going to buy a lot of land, and they're going to they're going to build properties there. And that's it. That's their job. The devil gave them that job. You know, whether he inspired them and they're just being greedy or whatever, or they actually know the bigger agenda the devil has. It depends how much their demons tell them what they want to use them for. They still know what they're committing a sin. They're never going to do something bad and not know it's bad. You know, obviously, you know, if you're doing something out of greed or normalcy, and you're thinking, what the hell? People don't even have jobs. People are suffering like this. What's the point of building more? Who's going to come and buy from your restaurant? We don't need more restaurants like that. We need more restaurants in the sense of, right, at least create jobs maybe, right? Like that, you're just going to be so confused. What are they building if people can't even buy from you anymore? It's not what you think it is. It's not just the sort of greedy aspects that you can probably Google and see people sharing with you is the reason behind this. The sort of other areas or reasons is so that they can take over the land. They don't want any area in this country to have space. You know? Space one day for someone who's going to help you to build anything for you there. And also just for you personally. Maybe, right? It's going to impact your ability as human beings who usually like to be homeowners. Maybe you just want to build your own house in a land that you bought. Like that. You're going to just struggle to find land. People who normally could start businesses or real estate and maybe they'd make it affordable, they're going to have a hard time finding land like that. The people who would normally use it for something good or fair enough, they're going to have a hard time finding land. They're going to have a hard time doing business, creating jobs, because these ones who don't want to create jobs, right, who are just going to post ghost jobs, fake jobs, and no one's actually being hired, and they're going to hoard all the money and hire 2-3 staff and overwork them. They're the ones who are going to just buy everything, take everything. So, you know what I mean? This is how you get to see the spiritual side. Spiritual side doesn't just mean, oh, devil's making humans do all these bad things. Because I didn't really teach you much. You already know why these humans are doing these bad things after COVID. All these weird things are happening. How people are becoming more unfair with money or wealth or anything concerning money or finances that impacts people's lives. If I just connect it to the fact that it's from the devil, it's probably not much of a unique knowledge to you, right? Because we all connect bad things to the devil, right? Okay. I'm trying to help you see sort of why whoever God is going to use to help you guys, they're trying to make it hard for them to help you. They're taking everything that person would normally use as a resource to help you. You know? So it's actually, so I'm saying, it's actually for whoever God is going to use to be a leader to help you religiously or spiritually. They're just going to help you with everything, not just religion, right? Like how to worship God. It's not going to be just that kind. They're going to help you with materialistic life type of, just the environment, your economic needs. Well, they're trying to create chaos for that person. They're trying to make it hard for that person, whether it's Jesus and other leader before them, whoever that is. I always tell you, God wants me to help people. Well, okay, that's going to impact me. Just so you know, the areas God wants me to help human beings is the areas demons are attacking. Okay, but I'm not, right, being unhumble or anything. I'm still telling you, right, it's possible others will be sent to help you in other areas, or I don't know what God's going to do. I just know what I'm going to do to help you. And some of the things I'm going to be used to help you, I'm not going to tell you, correct? And then some of the things, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to also be. You get me? Like that. There's a balance. I know some I get to tell you. I know some I'm not supposed to tell you. And then lastly, there's some I don't even know. So it's okay for me to tell you it's going to impact me, because I told you God gave me divine missions to help you guys. Things like poverty, like that. The humanitarian organization I'm going to do, it's not going to be like humanitarian organizations today. Like, let's say UNICEF. Hell no, I'm not doing something like that. I'm going to help you with things that God wants me to help you with. So it's going to be very powerful, important things. Okay, but it's going to hurt me. It's going to affect me. I'm going to have to fix problems that were not there before 2019 and problems that were there before 2019. Okay, but then God might send down Jesus too, right? I don't know who he's going to use to also help you, right? I don't know how much I'm going to help you. So then it's going to impact whoever else he is going to use to send down to help you. Okay, and just general humans that God is not sending, right? But they're his creation and they're just good people and they also want to do good for their world, right? It's going to also hurt them too, correct? Whatever they also wanted to do. Maybe someone actually had a desire to do this cool nonprofit the year 2018. Okay, and then 2019 COVID started, all this nonsense after that happened, all this demonic attack. Well, it's going to hurt them too, right? Like that. It's just when I say whoever's going to help you, I always mean God sent them. I don't mean general humans who do good for you too in this world. So they're going to definitely succeed with what they want to do, because they just get to build one little business. Obviously, they're not wealthy, right? They're not going to do something everywhere as much. They're just going to do one or two things to help you, or just their own little country, so they can still succeed. Okay, but whoever God is using to help you, whatever amount that is, they have to help global. They have to help everybody. So they're going to then have to come up with solutions that right, regular person doesn't have to come up with. They just need to figure out a way to start their business to help you like that. Okay, I'm going to end it here. I've been recording so much, I'm tired as hell.